Hey guys, good morning everybody. Sorry guys, late start today. I gotta say, the dad life is definitely catching up to me, but we're here. Market just opened up. Unfortunately, I missed the orb. Looks like a lot of you guys here took it. So great work to you guys there who caught the orb. I'm really mad at myself for missing the orb today because I had a feeling the orb was gonna hit, and it hit out perfectly today. So if you guys took the orb, nice work. If you guys took the momentum breakout, also full TP right there. So I missed out on some good trades right there. It's okay. I'll be looking for the next opportunity here as price continues to move along, and then we will go from there. We have market here still. Wait, what is this? Limit order. Let me go ahead and mark up the liquidity real quick, and I'll be looking for some continuations and direction of market here, of course. So really good entries right there on open. If you guys caught that, I saw you guys in the chat. So nice work working it out together, guys, on catching that entry there. Unfortunately, I missed out on that entry. That's the main entry I was looking for today, of course. But we'll continue on. Hopefully we'll find another one here. I'm sure we will. Market's doing exactly what we talked about yesterday. Volatility is starting to pick up as we get into the midweek. Um, and I think the volatility will continue to stay pretty active as we get into the higher impact news events later this week with jobs data tomorrow and inflation data on Friday. Yeah, 2 days back to back, fortunately. All right, so we got liquidity there marked up on the 1 hour right here, down to 30, going down to the 15. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat right now. I'm super proud of you guys. You guys killed it this morning. You guys took the orb without me. Uh, and you guys identified it perfectly. So nice work to you guys here on Discord, on the Zoom, and on the YouTube. I see all of you guys here. We're working together on that one. So, all right, guys, we got price kind of moving around right here at the moment. I'm looking for a possible high-low break and retest, possibly like right here at the 45,593. 593. So I'll look for price to break and close past that area right there. If price does break past this area right here, I'm gonna be looking for a high-low break and retest right here at the 45,593 right there. I'm looking for price to break past that price point, retest, continue up higher. We have a pending high right here, but if price does push up higher from where it's currently at, we do have opportunity for it to climb up higher from there. So we'll be looking for that to happen as price moves along. Overall market structure over here is bullish. You can see over here from the 5 minute, 1 minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, and 4 hour, all bullish right there. Looking over here at the overall trend, also bullish across lower time frames, bullish across the higher time frames. So very bullish across the board with regard to lower time frames, higher time frames, market structure, etc. So I'm going to be looking for possible buys here as price continues to move along. So, all right, let's go. We got price pushing up right here. Again, I'm just waiting for price to push up a bit higher. If it pushes up high enough, I'll be looking for opportunity there for entry. This looks like this is going to be the first or actually, there was an MPS V2 right here. So if anybody took this down here, there's an MPS V2 that came up immediately on open as well. So this is the first entry that came up today, a little prior. All right, I'm gonna look for price again here to break and close past that 45,593. I'm still looking for that to happen here. So we can get that possible high level break and retest right there at that level. So that's what I'm gonna be waiting for, guys. It's got to be a clean break and close. I don't want it to kind of sit here. I don't want it to reject off it like this. I want it to have a clean break, clean close, retest, and continuation. Right. But looking for that consistent push through. All right, still no close there. See, question from Chris over here. To answer the question right there regarding the orb. So no entry right there, guys. Price has not filled right here. This is not looking like it's going to be a nice setup anymore. Actually, so this lower high here is no longer going to be the entry point. The next high is going to be right here at 45,592 now. So it's just off by 1 point. The thing that I don't like about this here is that price is starting to consolidate. So if it's starting to consolidate right here, it's going to be hard to take these directional moves, right? Unfortunately, it looks like the volatility here died down right after the orb came through. So the orb came through right here. Obviously, it broke past it, retested, shot up higher right there. It was a clean entry for the orb, like very, very clean entry right there. Little to no drawdown. Actually, there was no drawdown at all. Price just came down, filled it, shot right up. But other than that, price is now still kind of lingering. Push up for the full 100 too. All right, so let me go over here. I'm going to market structure real quick. Let me check the news again for today. I don't think there's any news for today. Today's supposed to be a slow day overall. So we had that initial market open move, and then right now we have gas stock change at 7:30. It's low impact, low to medium impact, so it's not supposed to affect the market too much. It's just a monthly news event that happens every month or every week, actually. Gas stock change. Let me go to market structure here, though, so we can have an idea of like where price is likely to move around from. So looking at this right now, we currently have a couple imbalances right now. There's an imbalance right there. And that's why price keeps rejecting off this point. We had price break below here. We had price retest the imbalance, double top on the imbalance right there. And then we have another imbalance, which is currently active right there as well. Let me see. I have a prior resistance right here. So you got a prior resistance right there. Resistance turn support. We have a resistance turn support right there as well. And I have a support level right here. All right, so that's what we got right now, guys. That's what we're working with. So looking at this here, this here has mitigated this previous imbalance. We now have another imbalance right here, which may be new. So if this here closes how it's sitting right now, this could be an imbalance for a buy. So the gap would be right here between this candle right here and this candle right here. See how there's a gap with that big green candle in between? So if that's the case, what I'm looking at here and what I would like to see is I would like to see price possibly push up a little bit, maybe come back down and retest the imbalance, bounce off it, break and retest right here off this high low, and then look for continuation to the upside. This is actually a really good setup if it does line up how I'm anticipating it to. So if we get this setup right here, where we get We get the rejection right here off the imbalance, plus we get a break and close past the high, lower high right here and continuation, then this could be a really nice setup because we have a nice confluence right here with the bounce off the imbalance. So we have a pending imbalance right here. If this candle here closes below the imbalance, then it's going to invalidate this imbalance. And, there goes the analysis. The analysis is going to be out the window. But if it doesn't close below here and it rejects off this point, then that's going to be a nice confluence for continuation. So it looks like it's going to close below here. Since that's the case, this imbalance is going to be invalidated. This is still an imbalance right here. So this imbalance is still holding this upper one, but this lower one right here just got invalidated. Price created an imbalance, then it came back below it to mitigate the imbalance, and it's no longer an imbalance anymore. Rashida said that there's a momentum on the 5 and 10 minute. So with that being the case, longer time frames here could indicate that price may continue or it may shift. So it may shift or it may continue in this direction. Looking at the 5 minute here, there's a pending sell momentum, but price is bouncing off and it looks like it's trying to push back up. So let's go ahead and just maximize the 5 minute here. The 5 minute over here is currently rejecting off the pivot. So with that being the case, we can possibly identify a possible continuation back up higher. So possibly a break and retest right here off the pivots, retest off there and push up higher. This is the 5 minute time frame. So let's take a look at all the time frames here again. 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, currently bullish. Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling to the upside. Looking over here on the higher time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, everything here is bullish as well, right? Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling to the upside. With that being the case here, we're obviously going to be looking for some buys. Looking over here at the market structure, it's still very bullish as well. You can see over here on the 1, 5, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, everything is very strong bullish, right? So obviously we're looking for some buys here. Now, looking over here at the orb, you can see here the price is now sitting above the orb, hasn't really came back into the range yet. So what we might get here is we might get some consolidation before a continuation back up. But it's going to be a matter of time until that happens. So I think as we wait here, I'm going to go ahead and identify the overall outlook for the day. This shouldn't take too long. It's going to be pretty quick. I already have it set up, so it's not going to be too big of an issue. The alignment today is not super, it's not super heavy in one direction either. So yeah, so overall market bias for today is currently it's neutral bullish, 6.5 alignment score. So it's not like super one-sided, but it is identifying, bullish criteria here. Uh, Back to the chart real quick. All right, so price is pushing back up right here. We may have opportunity for it to push up higher. We'll see. We have maybe another imbalance setting up right here for a buy. So we have a gap right here basically between this red candle and this candle right here. Possible high-low break and retest right here at 45,592, like we talked about earlier. So I'll be watching it here. I'm looking at the price action. We do have a possible imbalance setting up right here on this candle. Yeah, so we have an imbalance right there. All right, the imbalance right there is about to close. We do have that imbalance right here between this red candle and this green candle right here. So we'll see here if it breaks and retests above this area, or if it ends up retesting right now, currently pushes above, breaks and retests and continues up higher. Ideally, I'd like to see this type of setup. close above, retest, continuation up higher from there. That could be the most ideal. So again, the setup right here, we're looking for price to break and close past 45,592. The problem here is that the volatility is too low, right? It's a very slow movement right now. So we'll see. I'm going to be watching for it to break and close past the threshold right there. It needs to be a clean break and close. It can't be something where it's like kind of sitting there or it's kind of going back and forth. It needs to be a pretty clean break and close past it. So no setup right there yet, but I'll be watching for this next candle to close after. Okay, so wait, over here we have one more candle. Yeah, I need a clean break and close past this level here. All right, we got the break right there. We now need the close. So I'm watching the candle here, look at the price action. If this here closes as, a good candle, meaning not very much of a wick on top, I'll be looking to take it. If it starts to pull back a little too hard, we get a big wick on top and just hold off on it. But right here, it looks like it could be a possible good setup. We have 26 seconds on this candle. So again, if this candle does close right here, I'm gonna be looking to get in at 45,592. Um, again, I'm watching the price action here. I don't like how this candle is pulling back like this. Yeah, this does not look like a good candle. I'm gonna sit out on this entry right here, guys. Yeah, this candle does not look good. Again, we need it to be a clean breaking close past this 45,592. Looks like it did close past it, but like I said, it wasn't a clean break, right? If you guys want to take it, feel free to take it at your own risk. I'll follow it for you guys here, but it wasn't really a clean break past. You guys can see the wick right here on top. See, if this closed a bit higher and there was no wick, then it would be perfect. I would have taken this entry without even thinking twice. But this right here just was not a good entry. The price here was just too close. I don't think it was, it wasn't clean enough to really identify a clean break past it. Retested continuation. So unfortunately, I'm going to be sitting out of this entry here. Volatility is too low. It was not a clean breaking close past this 45,592. Doesn't mean that this trade's not going to work out. It's just that it does not look good with regard to price action. And I don't like the volatility here because I don't want to be holding on to this position for an extended period where price kind of just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth before it eventually pushes up, right? For me, I like a clean break past it, retest, continuation up higher, be done in and out of the trade done within minutes or seconds. Right here, it looks like this is probably going to consolidate and go sideways for a bit. So not my type of trade. The volatility here is just getting lower and lower. Was at 16 for a little bit. Now it's at 15. We got price pushing back up here higher, so that's good. Again, like I said, guys, I'm not going to fade the entry here. I'm just going to give you guys a cautious analysis here just to identify, the things that may happen and things that may not happen here. So ideally, best case scenario, price just continues and blasts right through. Worst case scenario is price sits here for a bit, and then eventually, yeah, maybe it'll come up and then it'll blast through to later on. But we don't want to be holding on to a position for too long, right? These are like scalp entries, so you need to get in and out within minutes, not like 10 or 15 minutes, but you need to get in and out within like 1 or 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes at max. But 10 minutes is really pushing it. If you're in that position for 10 minutes or so, then no longer it turns into a day trade because it's no longer a scalp, of course. But like I said, I do hope and I do anticipate this to continue pushing up higher. This here just does not meet my criteria. We have an MPSV2, which is running alongside it now. So there's two entries running right by each other. We have the MPSV2 and we have a high-low break and retest. So this is looking good. It's looking good because there's confluence right there of two entries. We have the high-low break and retest, which happened right here at this level, 45,592. And we have the MPSV2, which came up right here. We had a buy signal, retracement, confirmation. So you got two entries running alongside each other to the upside. Remember, if you guys are following this with a trailing stop, again at 30 points right here, here, I'll mark this up at 30 points. Once it reaches 30 points, ideally, you'd want to move your stop loss in profit. If you're following my risk appetite or remember my risk parameters, typically once it hits 30 points, my stop loss gets moved in profit to 10 points. So you kind of guarantee about 20% of your profit. Guarantee 20%, aim for the full 100. So, all right, we'll keep watching here. It's doing exactly what I was worried about, right? This is what I didn't want to be caught in. Consolidation. Doesn't mean price isn't going to push up, but I don't want to get caught in consolidation here. Because the problem is when you're caught in consolidation, price can break out in either direction, right? This may go back and forth for a bit, and eventually price is either going to break up or it's going to break down. And you put yourself at huge risk there because your stop loss is so tight that if it does go back and forth like that, you can easily get stopped out. So we will continue to watch here, but I am not on this here. ATR is just way too low. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I want you guys to think I'm in the position. Like I said, market's doing exactly what I was worried about. Consolidation back and forth, right? Volatility is just way too low right now. All right, so let's see. This imbalance is still there, so it's not broken yet. We got price kind of going back and forth. There's more imbalances that are starting to come up here as we speak. We have a support level, which is down here now. Yeah, we have a support level right here. So we got a support and we got two imbalances here. We have a bullish imbalance and we have a bearish imbalance. Right here, price is coming back down to retest this lower bearish, bullish imbalance. Well, first of all, it rejected off the bearish imbalance right here. This imbalance was created over here. I think for this, so what I might do for the imbalances is I'm going to I'll just mark this up here so that you guys can see where the imbalance started from. Okay, there we go. I think this makes more sense because you guys can see where the imbalance was created from. Imbalance was created right here. And then the imbalance is created right here. There's two imbalances right there, and this is an actual support. Yeah, so this is the support. This is a resistance turn support. This is a support down here. These two are just imbalances. So right here, price broke and retest off the imbalance right there. And it's now pushing back up. So the entries that we talked about earlier, they're still currently active right now. Right here, as price continues to go back and forth. So the trade's still running, guys. This is the high-low break and retest from earlier right here at 45,592. It's still running, but it's doing exactly what I just was worried about, right? I don't want to be stuck in this position where it's going back and forth like that. There's another possible high-low break and retest going to be coming up right here at 45,605. I'll be looking to maybe get into this one here. I would need a clean break and close past this level right there, though. So I'll be watching right here, possibly gonna get into this one here as price closes above this area. There's a lot of entries running alongside each other right here. So let me see if I can get in right here. So I need this to be filled on this next candle. If it doesn't fill on this next one, no entry for me.
Order submitted.
So you got about three entries running alongside each other here. Looks like it's now filled for me right there.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm in the position now. There's three entries here running alongside each other now. It's a lot of entries right here, all for buys. The reason why I got into this one right here was because of the break and retest off this imbalance, right? I like that right there. That was a nice confluence. So we got three entries running alongside each other. We have a high-low break and retest right here, MPSV2 right next to it, and then right here again, we have another high-low break and retest. So I'll be following it right here. I'm in the position. Three entries pretty much running alongside each other now. It's a little tricky because there's so many entries running alongside each other. I mean, there's just a lot of push right here to the upside. Let me go ahead and take a look at my overall market structure over here. Market structure is still looking very bullish. Only problem here is that we might get stuck and caught in this chop here. So if we do get caught in this chop, or if I get stopped out of this position, it's completely fine. Um, because the market here is not really, the volatility is still kind of low. So if you look down over here, the volatility is still at 15. I might get stopped out of this position again. If it does, it's completely fine. I'll be looking for the next opportunity here. I'm only taking this at half risk anyway, so the next trade would make it up plus profit. Yeah, I was hoping we get some volatility off that break and retest off that imbalance, but it looks like the volatility here is still staying pretty low. There's another imbalance here again as well, which is like it's retesting a second imbalance. There's a lot of imbalances here. So we have another imbalance right here. It's a small imbalance, but it's another imbalance right there. All right, so I got stopped out of that position there, my latest one over here, which is okay. So small
Failed.
loss right there. I lost basically half my risk. Since I'm taking a 1 to 2 here, if I have another entry, it's going to make it back. Plus, I'm going to make profit on it. So first loss in a while, guys, right there. Looks like our win streak unfortunately had to come to an end. We had a pretty nice win streak over here for August. So August over here. Yeah, we had a 5 win streak. So we had a win on the first 5, 12, 21, 22, and I took my first loss right here on the 27. I'll update my trader sync a little bit so that you guys can see. But yeah, there's my first loss for this month so far. Not too bad. But again, right here, price is still running. So it's still currently active on the other positions. It lost on that most recent one, but everything else over here is still technically running. The MPS V2 is still running and the and the high-low break and retest from earlier. Yeah, we're just stuck in this chop here, so it's not really really not too much here to work with. Here, let me try to clean this up a little bit. It's like so messy. I don't even know which trades are. So the MPS V2 is actually from right over here. Okay, so the original high-low break and retest that came up right here at 45, 592 is still running. Plus we have the MPS V2, which is still running right next to it. We're just in this chop right here. Market is just chopping back and forth. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this here ends up, blasting right through. It's just the third entry that came up, which I try to get into up here. It was just a little too high, right? So basically I would have gotten in like about 13 points late from the initial one, which I should have just jumped into the initial one for a late entry. But it's okay. We'll continue following over here as price continues to move along. I mean, like we just talked about, the ATR is not getting any higher. It's still currently at 14 ATR, so I'm not really expecting much to happen here. We might just get a continuation of back and forth here until price finally makes its way to the upside. I hate these choppy markets. These choppy markets they make it almost impossible for you to get to your target. Again, I'm not in any other positions here, guys. My first position that I took lost, unfortunately, but I'm not in any of these other positions here right now. So I'll just leave one open here so we can kind of follow that one. It's the original high-low break and retest right here. But this is exactly what I was worried about. Price just consolidating back and forth. Again, like I mentioned earlier, these scalp entries, they're meant to hit right away. So you're supposed to get the break and retest, and it's supposed to push up right away or push down right away. For this here, this thing's been sitting in limbo for the past, let's see, for the past 14 minutes now. So with that being the case, this is no longer a scalp entry. This turns into more of a day trade. Scalps are supposed to hit right away within 5 to 10 minutes. This thing's been running for more than 10 minutes. All right, looks like we're stuck in this chop now. Yeah, so unfortunately, this one over here did not play through. It did exactly what I was talking about, guys. So like what I mentioned earlier, I mean, it did pretty much what we talked about. So let me just mark this up. I'll put this in the statistics over here. Um, So first loss for the month. It's been a great month so far, though. So I'm still heavy in profit for the month. So again, here are the stats for the month. I'll update the Trader Sync a little later. It's going to take a while for me to update it. But we had a 5 win streak right here for August, and then first loss right here on the 27th with this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that over here in the stats. We haven't had a loss in a long time. I don't even, oh, there we go. All right, so one loss right there. I'm hoping I can get into another one because if we can get into another position here, like I said, I'm taking these at a 1 to 2. So if the next trade wins, then it's going to make it back plus profit. I know we'll probably get one by the end of this week, so we'll probably get another entry tomorrow or get an entry on Friday. But for the most part, I'm not going to force any trades here. The analysis here was proper. It was just that we're stuck in this chop right here, so the bullish direction didn't actually follow through. The ATR is actually the lowest that I've seen in a long time. 14 ATR is really low. It's lower than yesterday. However, everything here is still pointing towards a buy. Overall market structure here is very bullish. Looking at the other screeners, everything is bullish as well. And also looking over here at the overall trend, everything's very bullish. So I do expect price to push up higher. It's just right now, it's not at that case because price is kind of just sitting here. So yeah, price may consolidate here a little further. And then once it's done consolidating, price may finally break up to the upside. But so far, everything here is kind of lined up. The imbalance here. So here's the reason why I was convinced that this trade was going to run through. Um, for one, we had overall bullish bias here with regard to market structure on all time frames. We had bullish market structure here with regard to overall trend. And then the icing on the cake was really the break and retest off the imbalance right here, right? So we saw that break off the imbalance. So that was a nice confluence for it to continue up higher. Only problem here is that price didn't have enough volume or volatility to actually blast through, right? It got close to it. It almost got to the 30 right here. If it got to the 30 right here, stop loss would have got moved in profit, but unfortunately did not get that close or close enough. And they just ended up pulling back to the imbalance right here. So this imbalance is still active. There's another imbalance right here, but it's a little weak imbalance right there. So we have an imbalance right here for this. And again, I'll mark this up right here as imbalance. Not a resistance, but an imbalance. If this candle here closes below this green box right here, this is going to mitigate this imbalance. If it doesn't, then this could be a possible another retest and push up higher. This is gas stock change right here at 7:30. So if you guys are joining in just now, there was two entries that came up, or a couple entries that came up for today, guys. So we had the orb over here that came up. It was a full TP right there for 40 points or 100 points, depending on. And I'll put this right here in the stats too, so that you guys can follow it. I woke up late, so unfortunately I missed this. I literally got on the live just right after it came up. So unfortunately I missed out on that trade. But that would have been a trade that I would have taken if I was here on time. So unfortunately, yeah, I missed out on that. So if that was the case here, so this would have been a pretty good day if I was here for the orb, right? Because this orb here would have won for 40 points. And then if I lost this high-low break and retest, I still would have been in profit because it would have knocked out 20 points, but I still would have been up another 20 points. So it's all good. We'll keep watching here as price continues to move along. The imbalance right here got retested. Did not mitigate it yet. So price came down, retested this imbalance, and then now it's pushing right back up higher as we speak. Like I said, everything here is still very bullish, so there's possibility for it to continue climbing up higher. Only problem here is that we don't have much volatility here for it to like follow through. Everything is bullish, so we do expect price to push up. It's just there's not enough volatility here to actually push it up. It looks like price is just going to continue to stay down here for a bit. So we'll continue following through here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Question over here from G. G's asking, Sean, what indicator do you use to read the volatility? I use ATR, the average true range. This is my tool, so I mean, I created this myself to have this number down here. If you want to have the basic tool, it's called ATR, average true range. Um, this identifies what the average movement is per candle. So I have it with a period of 14 candles. Basically, it measures the average of the previous 14 candles, and this number right here indicates the candle size that is currently average right now. So if 13 is the average candle, this means that the average candle that comes up is about this size. And you can see over here, it's pretty accurate, right? So 13 is going to be pretty much a good average of the previous candles at which it came up over here. So this indicates the volatility of the market. Typically, the average is about 20. That's why I said the volatility here is low, because typically when we're looking down here, we have it set it's at 20, right? That's why my stop loss is at 20, because I'm typically seeing the average at 20, but right now it's at 13. This is extremely low, guys. This is lower than what yeah, this is really low. It's lower than we've seen in a long time. Price is pushing up right now, so we're starting to see, this is the key thing too. If you get an abnormal candle, like this candle is like a little abnormal, it's 20 points, it's like way higher than the 13. That's how you can identify breakouts is building up, right? Or a breakout has came up and price may continue in that direction. Whenever there's an abnormal candle, this isn't very abnormal because it's like 7 points away from like the average. But if it's like a 40-point candle, a 50-point candle, a 30-point candle, then in that situation, you can possibly look for volatility to climb up higher. We don't have that here yet. The average is still set to 13. See, like on a busy day, we'd probably see this closer to like 40. On a slightly busy day, it'll be around 30. On a regular day, it'll be at 20. On a slow day, it's going to be below 20. And a very slow day, it's going to be even below that, so below 15. So not exactly the best market conditions to be trading in right now. Price is pushing back up right here. We have another retest off this off this imbalance. Price has invalidated and mitigated this imbalance, so this is no longer there. There's another possible opportunity here for a high-low break and retest off this 45,613. See, as much as I would like to take this trade here, guys, I don't like the low volatility, right? So if the volatility here is too low, then I'm probably going to be better off just sitting out of this. I don't know if I'm going to be taking more entries for today, guys. I already got burnt on this initial entry right here because the volatility was so low. Unless the ATR here picks up and it gets closer to 20, I will probably sit out of this position here. If it does come up, I'll mark it up for you guys. This is going to be another high-low break and retest at 45,613. You know what I just realized? I screwed up on this position that I lost on earlier because I'm not supposed to overlap the positions. I could say I got a little bit of FOMO in that trade because it looked so good where price was going to break above it and continue pushing up higher. But yeah, now that I'm looking back at that loss that I took right here, that loss was my mistake because I'm not supposed to overlap positions. That's why I only have one here marked up because even though there was three positions running alongside each other, the original one should have been the only one that I would have been in. But I got in on the third one, which is super late and super far out. And unfortunately, I got burnt on that trade. So yeah, you live and you learn. I did get some FOMO because I did miss it on the orb today. I was just itching to get into a trade today because we've been kind of flat for the whole week. But it's all good. Hopefully tomorrow's going to be smooth again. And then if tomorrow's smooth, I'll make back that loss and I'll make some profit on top of it. It's just a little bit of a toss up today, but you just got to roll with it. Yeah, this whole market here is a bit of a toss up. If you look over here, so let's take a look at the 5 minute. See this chop over here on the 5 minute? This is not good, right? You don't want to see chop on the 5 minute. The 1 minute's okay. If you see chop on the 1 minute, okay, fine. That happens every so often. But you look over here on the 15 minute as well, you get this 15-minute chop. Literally nothing happening in the market for the past hour or so. So this isn't a good sign right here. You don't want to have market chop on the higher time frames. The 1 minute's perfectly fine, right? Because you can get a temporary chop, but you get this chop here, even on the 30 minute. Look at this. 30 minute, no movement here. We had big movement right here initially on open and then flat pretty much for the past hour. The 1 hour actually has been pretty choppy for the entire week. Look over here on the 1 hour. Very choppy for the entire day, basically from Tuesday, uh, yeah, the entire day Tuesday up until today. This isn't a good market to trade in. I should have known better to take that entry earlier today, but it's okay. Like I said, I've talked about this before with you guys, and I've talked about this pretty much almost every month. The thing with trade psychology is that you never fully master it, guys. Like for me, for example, now that I'm looking back from hindsight, this trade should have been avoided because we've been in this chop since over here. Like this thing's been choppy for a long time, so I should have never taken the entry here to begin with. But because I missed the orb from this morning and I saw the MPSV2 over here, I was convinced that price would continue pushing up higher, especially because everything is so one-sided, right? You look over here at the market structure and you're like, okay, if you take a buy here, like how can you be wrong if the market structure is so bullish? The thing is, we're not wrong about the direction. Um, it's just price here is so slow and the volatility is going back and forth. Well, the volatility is not there. It's just the price is ranging that it doesn't matter if you're good on the longer term direction. You can still get stopped out, especially if your stop loss is so tight. We're using a 20-point stop loss here. So it's all good. Let's see. G said, Sean, it looks like it's creating a rising wedge. You could take are you on TradingView? If you're on TradingView, you can take a screenshot of it right here. Copy the link. So you click on the camera button, you click copy link right here, and then you can send the link in the YouTube if you want. But you can't post a direct picture in the YouTube. You can do it on the Zoom, but not on the YouTube. So we got nothing here still, guys. It looks like the imbalance right here was invalidated, so I'm gonna take this off. So that imbalance was sitting there for a while now. We now have an upper imbalance right here. So we have a bearish imbalance right there, and we have a resistance which is up here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys like the imbalance being I think, well, I mean, it's probably best to keep it that color because we know where the imbalance is coming from, so we know where the rejection should happen from. I was thinking of changing it to like a different color, like blue, but the problem with that is that you can't really tell if the imbalance is from the bottom or from the top, right? So I'll keep it red so that you understand where the imbalance is coming from, and I'll just write imbalance there. Okay, so we have a resistance, we have a support, and we have an imbalance right here down in the middle. The imbalance happened from this red candle right here. So this right here, big red candle, and then the imbalance reconnected right there. These two candles right here created the imbalance, which is right here down the middle right now. So what you're gonna be looking for here to use this to your advantage is you're gonna look for a possible break and retest of it and continuation in this direction. Or if it becomes in an inverted, you know, gap, then you can look for it to break and close the other way. But we'll leave it as is. I mean, market here is pretty much going sideways, guys. I'm not expecting much to happen here. If I was to take off this gap, you can see this is a clear consolidation range right down the middle. There's nothing to work with here. So, all right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, we'll continue watching it for any opportunities, but there's just nothing here right now. So we'll be following along. All right, guys, not much happening here again. Price is still going sideways. So there's nothing going on here, guys. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Again, we're just looking for a price here to kind of do something. Like realistically, there's nothing going on here. Price has been in this consolidation range for about let's see, for over an hour now. So it's been going back and forth for about an hour and 10 minutes within this range. So it's not exactly the best time to look for entries at all. It's really just one of those, we're currently in a place right now where there's just nothing to work with. All right, we got price breaking below this support level. Broken close below that support. I'll take a look and see if that support's been invalidated. I think it's still active right now because it didn't really break too far. Yeah, the support's still there. It's just not it's just not invalidated yet. All right, still nothing here, guys. Price is still just sitting there. All right, guys, we don't got much going on here again. There's nothing going on. Price is currently at the support level. I was looking to see if there's going to be some volatility right here. Typically, there's like, this will act as a catalyst. Price breaks past the support here. It's either going to fake out and pull back into the range, or it's going to continue dropping below here, retest, and drop further. But it's not really the case here. The volatility is just extremely low. If you look over here at the ATR, it's still currently set to 14. So, unless the ATR picks back up to 20, we're probably not going to see much movement here. It's probably going to stay pretty flat overall. Right now, it's back down to 13, actually. So that being the case, it just shows that the market's getting weaker and weaker. Um, with regard to volatility. You want to see this pick up. So ideally, if you want to continue to take trades, you want the ATR here to go higher and higher. So you want it to go from like 13 to 14 to 15 to 16 to 20 to et cetera. Right now, it's just sitting at 13. If it sits at 13, this means that market's going to stay pretty stale. A lot of people don't know how to use the ATR. The ATR here is very useful when identifying, when to stay in the market and when not to trade in the market because the volatility is way too flat right now. The reason for that's because it doesn't really matter which direction you're looking to trade. If you want to take buys or if you want to take sells, you wouldn't really know if you're going to be right or not, right? Because unless you have a really, really wide stop loss, you're probably going to be in limbo for like the next hour or so. Because you can see over here, if I take off this imbalance, price here has been consolidating back and forth for over an hour now, almost an hour and a half. So with that being the case, if you take a buy here, yeah, you might get that bullish push eventually, but you need to have wide enough stop loss to pretty much survive the choppiness here. So if you want to take something here, you might want to take something with like maybe a 50-point stop loss because you want to be able to survive that back and forth before eventually, comes right back up higher. So clean this up right there. There's a little more structure here that's kind of marked up. So let me see, we have a lower high right there, untested, lower high right there, untested, and lower low right here untested. So right here, again, if you're looking for a high-low break and retest, there may be a possible opportunity for entry right here. The volatility is just too low now, right now. So I personally wouldn't look to take it. If you guys want to take it, it'd be right here at 45,575. 45,575 is going to be the opportunity right there. But like I said, your stop loss, if it's 20 points, I mean, this is going to be it's going to be a hard ask because the ATR here is just getting lower. It's now down at 12. the volatility is not getting any better. It's actually getting worse. Let's see. G's asking, Sean, do you have a screen monitoring ES and NQ next to YM? I find sometimes it's helpful since NQ and ES are so tech heavy. Sometimes they move first and YM follows. Yeah, no, and I agree with you as well. And you said sometimes it doesn't work at all. Yeah, and I agree with you too. Sometimes I do have that and I like to have that up, but I don't have it up now. Um, because the thing is, let's check NQ and ES real quick. I think they're probably slow as well, right? So NQ is also slow and ES is also slow. Right? There's nothing going on. They're all choppy right now. Every market's choppy. ES is choppy, NQ is choppy, YM is choppy. So it doesn't really make a difference if you do have those up, because they're all going to be choppy regardless. So yeah, typically, like, if the market's very volatile and we want to catch the direction of price, or you want to see where price is going to flip, then yeah, in that situation, I would have both of them up. But right now, I just have YM up. YM is the only asset I'm looking at. I am looking at it from different lenses though. So I have one screen that has my screeners, which it identifies different strategies, different trends, different volatility, different volume, different, like, pretty much everything that I can think of. So I have a screen over here with a screener, and it pretty much covers the rating across the board between the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, and 1 hour, 4 hour, exactly like I have right here, right? So I have another screener like this, but I have two other screeners on top of that. So I have this right here, which identifies, market structure, order block volume, gaps, premium discount zones, liquidity grabs, and equal high, equal lows. And then I have two other screeners that are like stacked on each other on this other screen, which identifies specific entries, divergences, confluences, reversals, etc. And then I have another screener that identifies specific strategies with regard to trend strength, volatility, squeeze, and volume sentiment. So I'm just looking at YM from a lot of different lenses. I have a bunch of screeners, and then I also have another screen over here on my other side, which is all market structure. So I have one that has basically it's like it's on a magnifying glass. Like right now, we're kind of looking at the normal candles here. But then I have another chart over here where I'm looking at market structure. See this? I'm looking at market structure. This is how I'm able to identify the support resistance and imbalances very quickly. So I have that screen right there, and then I also have a screen with all my screeners. Just three screens looking at different lenses of YM. So that is what I have there. I don't necessarily look at ES and NQ because they don't correlate. But if I'm looking at something where the volatility is very high, then I'll typically look at those to see if if it's leading in a sense and if YM is to follow. Yeah, like right now it's kind of pointless because they're all going sideways, so it wouldn't really matter, right? You look at all three and you're like, okay, not much is going on here. TG said, okay, nice. All that sounds good. Do you share those screens with your paid group? No. So there, because you only share one screen at a time. So with the paid group, everything here is just real time. But yes, the other screens are just for mine. That's how I give the analysis right away, right? The difference here with like the paid group and the YouTube is that the YouTube is a bit delayed. So like you're sending messages, G, and you're probably not getting my responses until like 10 or 30 seconds later. While on the Zoom, my responses are right away. So I'm giving this analysis, that I'm typically giving you guys here, but the Zoom obviously gets it quicker because it's not delayed. It's all real time. Here, I'll show you guys a screenshot. I can't copy this screen over because this screen is so this is what my screener looks like. Oops. So this is what I'm looking at on my other screen. This is why I could tell you guys if everything's bullish or everything's bearish. That's why earlier I was like okay with the buy earlier because everything here was bullish, right? It was just we were stuck in a chop, so I couldn't really see anything there. But or we got stuck in the back and forth. But you can see over here, everything is very bullish. So of course, I'm looking for buys here. I would like to take buys. Um, and that's how I'm so dialed in with the direction of price. The only thing that could really screw me in these analysis is that when the market's sideways like this, because so if you look back, you know, the entries happen around this area right here, right? So like either way, price is going to be bullish or it was going to be bullish eventually. It's just if your stop loss is too tight, it's easy to get stopped out right here, right? And that's exactly what happened right here. There's no entry right here, guys. This actually didn't fill. Price broke and closed past the lower high, but it didn't fill on the second candle. So there's actually no entry there because there's no fill. So this pending order would have been canceled. The price is pushing up higher as we speak. Yeah, no problem, G. The thing is, like, I have logic behind all of my moves. Every time I decide to take an entry, every time I decide not to take an entry, I there's a logic behind it. I have three screens here, so I have a screen like I mentioned with my market structure. So here, I'll take a screenshot of this right here too, so that you guys can kind of see, you guys can have an idea of like what I'm actually looking at. So we have the main screen right here, right? I'll open these up over here. Okay, so like I mentioned, we have the regular screen, which is right here, right? This is what you guys are seeing on the live stream. But I also have this screen right here, which is identifying market structure. So I'm able to identify resistance, imbalances right here, the highs, extreme lows. And then I also have my screener over here, which tells me what the overall direction is at any given time. I have it set to the 1, 5, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour. That's why when you guys see me take entries here, I'm pretty confident with my entry. The only time I'm not really confident is in a situation like this where the volatility is so super slow because anything can really happen. But typically, I'm usually looking for, like, I have a lot of things that I'm looking at that can assist with my analysis. But there's nothing going on here, guys. So, I mean, it wouldn't really matter. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, we're pretty much done for the day. I think there's not much else here to take at the moment. Um, yeah, there's just not much else here to take. And it is 8 o'clock. So my cutoff for trading here is 8 o'clock. Unfortunately for today, guys, I ate one loss for the day. If you guys are just getting in here, if you guys didn't see what happened earlier this morning, I got into this live session a little late, so I missed the orb entry, but the orb entry did hit over here, played for a full target of 40 points. If you reached for 100, reached 100 right there as well. And then I took a high-low break and retest right here, which lost unfortunately. And then there was an MPS V2, which happened immediately on open over here as well. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the Discord and send me a message. Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap this up for the day, guys. 8 o'clock, this is my cutoff for trading. Again, unfortunately, I got on late for the live session today. Tomorrow, I'm going to set multiple alarms. I will be up on time. There's no way I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. Yeah, unfortunately, so what happened was my phone was updating overnight. And when it updated overnight, it for some reason it shut off my alarms. I don't know, I've never seen that happen before, but yeah, it happens. But all right, guys, I think that's it. Let's see. G's asking last question, do you sell those tools to your paid group? No, so those tools are mainly for my hedge fund. I'm looking to um, produce these tools for the paid group though. So they're not available for the paid group right now, but it's mainly meant for my hedge fund to identify overall direction of structure, market bias, etc. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, no, they're not available to everyone right now. They're a little bit more on the proprietary side, but I'll probably be releasing more of a light version, I guess, for the premium if I can get that going. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, we are done for the day, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. One question we heard from CERN, he's asking if I saw the Echo Stock SAR. No, I haven't. I never even heard of that one. I'll take a look at it once we get off this live session, though. So.